Hello, thank you for stopping by for another Lost In. Today, we'll be exploring the tragic beginnings of the VW Type 3 Zeto Cachorro. In the mid-1950s, VW Germany was on the ropes. The beloved Beetle, built back in 1930s, had a successful run of over 20 years. VW was looking at their portfolio and their diminishing profits and came to the shocking realization that they needed to offer more selections. The people were there, the options simply were not. With no other passenger cars to offer, the designers at the Wolfsburg factory got on to creating several new prototypes. One of these were the EA97. The EA97 took advantage of the 1.2-liter motor out of the Beetle, plus all the working mechanics. The new car received modern styling for the 1950s. Development began in 1957, and the EA97 family quickly grew to offer a convertible, a station wagon, and a fastback. 200 of these prototypes were made, all for public viewing in the hopes that these cars could replace the beloved VW Beetle. In 1961, Europe saw the launch of the Type 3 VW, a superior line of cars to the Beetle. The new line of Type 3s included a two-door saloon, a variant station wagon, and a TL. The 1500 motor was used in the beginning, later replaced by the 1600. Of course, all of these models were rear-mounted motors, air-cooled. They had way more luggage space than the Beetle. The Type 3s were Super Saiyan 3 compared to the EA97. So, plans were quickly scrapped. Surprise to all when the EA97 was granted a second chance at life. In all places of far-flung Brazil. Surfing the sands of time to 1967, VW Brazil retired the old models and prepared the new wave. With swelling competition on the horizon from heavy hitters such as GM and Ford, VW Brazil found themselves in the very same spot that VW Germany was in so many years earlier. So the big Wampa chiefs over at VW Brazil came to the shocking realization that their lineup of cars kind of sucked. That they needed a little bit more to offer than just the VW Beetle, the Combi, and the Carmagia. Personally, I take Carmagia. They all got around the table and said, what to do? What to do? What can we even do? What vehicles can we even launch? So the big wigs at VW Brazil decided to embark on an epic quest back to motherland Germany with the hopes that they would find their salvation there in the Wolfsburg factory. Forgotten, unused, gathering dust, and ultimately ignored, sat the EA97 prototypes. Could this be it? Could this be the car that saves VW Brazil? 5 of these beautiful EA97 prototypes were sent back to Brazil to be prepared for the Brazilian market. The body was redesigned to have 4 doors and fitted with the powerful 1600. It seemed that VW Brazil was going to be able to release this car 6 months before GM and Ford. However, Lady Destiny had other plans. Tragedy struck when the shipping vessel Pananagua sunk off the coast of Belgium. All the assembly equipment for the new 1600 was lost at sea. More problems later occurred in testing. Due to all of these setbacks, only 50 units were made for the São Paulo Auto Show of 1968. Up against the major titans, Ford and GM, the 1600 was still a head-turner, a crowd pleaser, and delighted everybody. The bulk of all orders were made at that very show. By 1969, VW Brazil started cranking out these cars. That is, until they were missing parts. Thus again, delaying production. Setback after setback after setback. The 1600 finally hit the streets of Brazil, but not without missing its official name. They even forgot to name the baby. After all of this, they even forgot to name the little car. The charming 1600 was simply known as the Fusca Quatro Portas. The Beetles' original robustness and simplicity was maintained. On top of a beautiful redesign sat the new 1.6-liter motor, increasing that horsepower to a big 60 horsepower. A smooth-running car scooted about the roads very well for the time, making about 135 km/h. That's about 80 miles an hour. Yep. Initially for VW Brazil, everything was gravy, baby, until it wasn't. Unfortunately, sales of the 1600 never reached the expectation of VW Brazil. The Brazilian market was going through a really strange phase. Four-door cars began to fall out of favor, as people with families were simply starting to buy more two-door vehicles. Curiously enough, the 1600 found a new lease on life again, when the taxi cab drivers and fleet vehicles started to use them. The taxi cab drivers, of all people, saved it a niche on the Brazilian streets. In Rio, the cute straight lines and rounded corners earned it the nickname soap dish. However, in time, it would become known under a different nickname, a darker nickname, Zé do Caixão. It was given the nickname Zé do Caixão because of its straight lines and four door handles that had a striking resemblance to a coffin. José Mojica Marim, also known as Zé do Caixão, was a prolific filmmaker and began teaching himself the art of filmmaking at a very young age. And to his credit, has a collection of more than 40 films under his belt. Mojica was born March 13, 1936. In 1964, he made his most successful film under the title At Midnight, I'll Take Your Soul. This was a very dark and creepy film of a country gravedigger that had a deep animosity for people of faith, a hedonist known to eat meat on Good Friday, a dark soul that kept the entire town in terror as he searched for the woman to bear his perfect offspring. In the 1990s, horror film critic Joe Kane loved Zé do Caixão, brought him to the American market under Coffin Joe. These are perfect B films for the holiday season. Dark and scary, menacing characters, excellent for Halloween. The Zé do Caixão was haunted by the tragedies and setbacks of its early beginnings. In 1970, a horrific and violent fire swept through the factory, killing over 20 people and seriously injuring 200 others. Sadly, in the end, it was Volkswagen Brazil that drove the stake through the Zé do Caixão's heart due to the horrific fire and diminishing sales. Remarkably enough, in those 2 short years of production, over 24,000 units were built. The forgotten EA97, the little soap dish, the tragic beginnings of the 1600, and the dark history of the Zé do Caixão ensured that this VW Brazilian car would remain a cult classic for years to come. Many of these cars are still on the street to this day. People of all ages love the Zé do Caixão. Only 24,000 were ever made, making it a super rare VW. Mind blowing. That was awesome. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I want to thank you guys for spending your time with me. If you haven't, please give a little thumbs up. Share this with somebody that might be interested in Brazil or in automotives, or maybe somebody that just wants an interesting story. Make sure you check out Zé do Caixão's movies. Those are really good for the Halloween season. And that's about it for right now. So I really want to thank you for stopping by, and until a próxima. Ciao.